Hi friends, and welcome to the Shits and Gigs podcast, where the vibe is high, the humor gets raunchy, and things get spicy when we talk about food. I'm your host, Meg Davis, and we are here tonight recording my favorite episode, especially when it's been a long week, a Bath Bombz episode, which means I'm here relaxing in my tub while connecting with all of you on whatever random topic came up for me this week that I think is either just really interesting, super funny, or it sounds really cool. So this week we're actually going to do a little reflecting, and then I have a special news announcement on an ingredient / sketchy product you need to be aware of. So let's kick things off. So I actually, tonight technically, I plan ahead. So my Bath Bombz, I record a week ahead of time, so then I can pre-schedule it out. It's super efficient, and for someone like me who's trying to really squeeze these things in the nooks and crannies of motherhood and my health coach, like around my health coaching and also my meal prep membership. So since I'm juggling a lot, that has been a game changer for me. So if you are someone that is leaning into either podcasting, vlogging, or even just social media content in general, trying to either build kind of like a quote-unquote piggy bank of material ahead of time is super efficient, so then you can pre-schedule out things, or like I'm doing, just recording in advance essentially. And I mean, you can do as many episodes in advance as you want. This is what's working for me right now. I'm just doing one at a time, but if I happen to take 2 baths in a week, I'll definitely just kind of record a random episode. So then I do kind of have that cushion, say we go on vacation or whatever. So that's kind of a pro tip that I've learned so far. And I'm honestly just really proud of myself. This was kind of a stretch. I was not sure how this was going to go, honestly. My biggest fear was, the technology has been a huge learning curve, but my biggest fear was I wasn't going to have enough people to talk to. Like, I was going to really struggle finding guests, but I'm patting my back on this one because I'm actually scheduled out all the way till October with guests, which is just so cool to think about. This has just been such a fun ride already, and I just really love genuinely connecting with other people. I love networking. I love connecting other people together and people to opportunity. That's like a huge thing for me. We watched the Kill Tony podcast, and this podcast is the number one live podcast in the world. Super funny. I totally recommend. They launch a new show every single Monday at 9 p.m. On YouTube. So I 10 out of 10 recommend watching for yourself. But one of the things that is so attractive to me about this show is that because of the... sorry, I got distracted. I thought I heard Kim crying. Because of the popularity of it, it has so much exposure that people can, if they're actually trying and preparing the minute like they're supposed to, it's a comedy show. If they're like really trying to make it, like this is a game changer for them if their name gets pulled out of that bucket. Because Tony has such a wide net of things that he's connected to, like so many different opportunities and people. It's just really cool to see how people's journeys really take off. And what's been really interesting and super intriguing and cool to see is that a lot of his top people that he's kind of mentored, mentored's a good word, mentored into the comedy scene and everything, I would say like almost 75% of them have special needs, which I think is pretty fucking awesome. So definitely check out Kill Tony. What Tony is doing is honestly so impressive and inspiring. And the show is fucking hilarious. So go check that out for sure. So really proud of my guest count, and it's just been so cool to connect with such a diverse group of people on a different level. And one of the things that I've realized with starting the podcast is that we are truly surrounded by so many interesting people if we just take the time to listen. like even my best friends that I've had on, they have knowledge about things that I just have never gotten deep with them about. So put your phone away and like actually have conversations with people, because we are surrounded by so many cool people. And that's kind of just my driving motive for inviting guests. The second I have an intriguing conversation, I'm like, you know what? You feel really passionate about this and I love where this conversation is going. Would you be open to being a guest on my podcast? So, pro tip again, as far as getting guests, looking back at things so far, definitely just coming from a genuine place when you vibe with someone and just going for the invite. Like, have no fear about asking. What are they gonna say? No. And then you don't have them on your show and it's whatever. But if you really, really want them, follow up in 3 months, because follow up is key, people, for anything. And I already said that. Let me see if there's anything else that I wanted to touch upon for reflection. I guess the last thing I want to say is my 2 biggest hopes with this podcast for my listeners that have been with me for a little bit. Thank you so much for following and tuning in. But also for the new people I hope to reach, my 2 biggest hopes for this podcast is to have you guys learn some really cool shit, spelled with 2 I's, of course, about how to discover long-term vitality and true happiness, because we all deserve to thrive. And another hope is to laugh a lot, obviously. So that will more than likely happen with my guest episodes, because you get to kind of see fun dynamics and whatnot, and I always make it awkward or something, so you're bound to laugh. And I just want to become that opportunity platform, like how Kill Tony has kind of inspired me in that way. Like, I want to be a place where we can connect about some really cool things, but then anyone that plugs into my show, or my podcast rather, is going to be opened up to such a wide network of people with opportunity. And that's like huge for me. So that's the dream with this little venture. So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in already. It's a huge honor to have such a cool following already. And thank you to all of my guests that have taken the time to sit down and connect with me. You guys have seriously all exceeded my expectations, and I'm so pumped about it. And thank you to all my future guests. To wrap up this reflection, I figured I would share some upcoming topics. So next week we're recording a Power Couple episode. Josh is going to make his debut, my hubby. He's super nervous, so be nice to him. And our best friends, Amanda and Mike, they're kind of a fun new connection that we made through a series of different connections in life. And they are just such an amazing couple. I can just tell, my husband and I have been together for 13 years, and I think because we've had so many good years, there's something to be said about how we embrace our relationship and our connection. So when I got to hang out with Mike and Amanda more, I could just tell they had a very similar vibe. And when we got chatting about relationships and stuff, they definitely share a lot of the same values, and it just goes to show with their genuine connection. So definitely tune in for that. Power Couple, and we're going to focus on discovering your love language and how that affects being able to connect and show up for each other, and how to be a true teammate every single day. Then another episode, The Skinny on makeup, looking into ingredients to look out for in makeup and some top recommended brands, the science behind diet trends. That's going to be a cool one. And then I'm going to call it either a Boss Babe series or a Momtrepreneur series. I'm not sure. I have to double check and make sure all of the Boss Babes are moms before I give it that other little tagline. But going to be super cool. I have a really incredible lineup of women that are entrepreneurs and are seriously crushing it. So we are going to pick their brains on lessons they've learned in the process of starting up their businesses, and how or what they define are best practices for success based on their experience. So super excited for those episodes. And then I'm finally going to have my girl, Jess Sweeney, the owner of Elevated Nutrition. For a topic, we're going to talk about discovering flavors that turn you on. Of course, it's going to get sexual, and we're going to talk about food because that's all Jess and I talk about is like what our next meal is going to be and what it's going to taste like and how excited we are for it. So we're going to be chatting it up about that. And we would be silly not to also chat about how we've had such a powerful working relationship and partnership throughout the last 8 years that I've been in Herbalife. So going to be super funny conversation, super intriguing conversation as well, and insightful as far as creating that like true partnership with your business people that you lock arms with. So super fun and excited for all of those. All right, super quick special news announcement. This is a clean ingredient Mayday alert. So we're calling it Big Parma. That's kind of like an inside joke between Josh and I. Essentially, we had like shredded, like authentic shredded Parmesan on some dish that we had, and we were like gassy AF. So it like just became an inside joke. But we're going to call this news announcement Big Parma because it also has to do with Parmesan cheese or lack thereof. I'm informing you that there is something called, what's the name? It was kind of funny. Riz Parmia. That's available at the dollar store. My mom tried to serve me this one day. And on the front cover, it says grated topping with Parmesan. And in the ingredients section, the first thing it says processed cheese topping, flavor, Parmesan. The only ingredient that should be in your any kind of Parmesan is Parmesan cheese. So if it got anything else in it, throw it in your trash. You guys really gotta start reading labels. This shit is getting crazy. Chicken's grown in labs now. It's disgusting. So if you lay it on thick, like Josh,
I like cheese.
Make sure you're actually eating cheese. All right, guys, that's it for your special news announcement and our 20th episode reflection. To wrap up the episode, as always, I'm going to give you a wellness mocktail recipe. And like I always remind you guys, you can either comment to receive a DM with some pricing on how to prepare this at home. And you also have the option of coming to visit myself and the team at Elevated Nutrition in West Greenwich, Rhode Island, 34 Nooseneck Hill Road, anytime, and trying any of these mocktails that I share, because they are either things that I personally tried and I know we have at the club, or they've been super popular at the club, and that's why I'm sharing them with you. So we would love to have you come visit and hang with us. There's plenty of seating. We have free Wi-Fi if you want to work from the club. Super fun vibe. We promise not to distract you if you voice that you need to like actually get some work done. But we're also here to distract you if you want a distraction. So definitely come visit and have a good time with us. We are open Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 2:30, and then Saturdays 8 to 1. Sundays are our family day. But yeah, here's your wellness mocktail for tonight. I'm going to give you the recipe for our Baja Breeze tea. This is a lit tea, meaning it gives you enough caffeine, similar to like 2 cups of coffee. It has 160 milligrams of caffeine, all herbal based, which is amazing. So you'll kind of feel more leveled out energy versus like a huge spike and then a crash. For this tea, you will need 1 lemon lime liftoff. You can either do the powder sticks or the tablet, both ideal. Half a teaspoon of lemon tea, half a teaspoon of the Blue Blast drink mix, and also half a teaspoon of the cucumber lime drink mix. The Blue Blast you're going to put in the bottom if you want to do the layered look. Put a little warm water in the bottom of your 32-ounce cup and add in the Blue Blast, the Liftoff, and the lemon tea. Swirl it around until it's fully dissolved, and then ice and water to the top, and then you just want to sprinkle some of that cucumber lime on top. Apparently, I've never had a Baja Blast from Taco Bell, but everyone that tries this that has had that says it tastes incredible and it tastes just like it. So if that's your vibe, Either comment to receive pricing to make it at home, or definitely swing into Elevated Nutrition in West Greenwich, Rhode Island. Thank you, friends, so much for tuning in. Have a great night. Toodles.